Okay.
It's one of the main sources
And
of the
now?
news energy mix.
Here, it's
So
okay now.
of renewable energy. Let's start. As we move forward in our progress, humanity increased the need in resources to support its continued existence. One single planet is no longer enough for 8 billion of people. The response of Earth to human activity is climate change, which deteriorate ecosystems, augment extinction and destruction. When fossil fuels are burned to produce energy and heat, they release a significant amount of greenhouse gases that cover the planet, yes, and trap solar radiation. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas also cause major carbon dioxide emissions. The solution might be obvious. Emissions must be reduced to prevent the worst effects of climate crisis. In order to achieve this, we must invest in renewable energy sources, which are accessible, reliable, and sustainable. So, the production of renewable energy comes from resources that can be regenerated quickly. There are 5 types of green energy: wind power, solar power, hydropower, geothermal energy, and biomass. The expansion of renewable energy is vital for the future since the stock of combustible minerals are limited and will eventually run out. Sustainable development, which implies meeting the requirements of the current generation without compromising the future ones, would serve as a great foundation for the human survival. Nowadays, renewable energy sources are available all around the world, including rural areas. Each country may provide a source of energy that is suitable for itself, taking into consideration geographical and financial aspects. In addition, renewable energy is the cheapest sources of energy in most countries. So it is more alluring when prices are falling, and the cost savings would be far greater than the expense. According to United Nations, the renewable energy sector plans to generate 14 million of jobs by 2030. That will be an outstanding opportunity for employees who would prefer to work in the fields of efficiency and low-emission technology. Unfortunately, the war in Ukraine continues, but a reconstruction strategy is already discussed and even approved. The rebuilding of destroyed cities and the fulfillment of economic goals will cost an average $750 billion for Ukraine. The infrastructure and energy industry in Ukraine are a crucial and strategically important part of its development. Both by shutting off gas supplies to Europe and by directly attacking Ukraine's infrastructure, Russia has employed energy as a weapon in the conflict. Renewable energy sources had been playing a bigger part in Ukraine's power generation sector before the war. Ukraine established an ambitious aim in 2021 to get 25% of its whole energy mix from renewable sources by 2035. This target would require large investments in wind and solar power industry. Nevertheless, Ukraine faces few harsh obstacles due to the war. And one of the main ones is that the majority of existing and future renewable energy generation projects, as well as the high potential wind and solar generation areas, are currently occupied or located in contested regions. Around 66% of the country's functioning wind and solar power facilities are concentrated in the 5 southern districts of Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, Mykolaiv, Kherson, and Dnipro, which are currently partly occupied by Russia or under heightened threat. But let's talk about something positive. Ukraine has a significant renewable energy potential, which can secure its energy independence and facilitate deeper cooperation with the European Union by increasing and improving it. Europe sees renewable energy as a source of energy independence. However, they considered Russia, who is completely unreliable, as the main fuel supplier in the past. Nowadays, European Union estimates Ukraine as the solution to the energy crisis. The potential of Ukraine's renewable energy sector to grow quickly is enormous because of the country's high average wind speed, rich solar energy, and rise in agricultural waste. In fact, a lot of international brands of renewable energy have recently entered the market. According to studies, Ukraine has 667 gigawatt total energy production capacity, with 251 gigawatts coming from offshore wind. I will explain this later. What does it mean? So now I would like to talk about three most common sources of renewable energy in Ukraine. So the first one is biomass. In other words, the energy produced from wood waste, biogas, sewage and industrial wastewater, animal waste, and for instance, household, yes, like paper, food waste, plastics, and so on. Ukraine can make a big contribution to the EU's biomass energy industry because of its powerful agricultural sector. The government's policy pays more attention to the growth of this area, considering the fact that the cost of labor and raw materials is among the lowest in Europe. The potential of Ukraine lies in its crops, actually, that include grains, sunflowers, and rapeseed. Additionally, gasification is a way to convert biomass into biomethane, and due to its close resemblance to natural gas in its composition. Biomethane is particularly intriguing as maybe a possible Ukrainian export. For instance, all the transportation that will go through Ukraine to Europe may use this specific gas energy. However, when biomass is used for energy, greenhouse gas emissions are produced. Although at a lower rate than when fossil fuels are burned. But like this specific method can cause like environmental harm. That's why it should be used in limited applications. Then, second one is wind energy. Wind energy captures the kinetic energy of moving air by placing massive wind turbines on land. It's called, in other words, onshore, or in fresh water or in seawater. It's called offshore. The wind power industry is profitable due to the high wind speeds in the southern Ukraine. It is the biggest and most promising renewable energy source which might contribute to the EU's energy mix. The southern and southwestern regions of Ukraine could produce up to 251 gigawatt of onshore wind energy and 320 gigawatt of onshore wind energy. So after the war, it is essential to invest in the source of energy. Because Ukraine has all the opportunities to compete with other European countries, yes, and to increase the production of renewable technologies. And now we'll talk about the third and the most frequent source of renewable energy, which is solar power. Solar technologies provide heat, cooling, natural lighting, electricity, and fuels for a variety of uses. We may use photovoltaic panels or solar radiation concentrating mirrors to turn sunlight into electricity. Ukraine has also very remarkable solar capabilities both in northern and southern regions of the country. For example, Ukraine generates more solar energy annually than Germany. This makes Ukraine a very desirable location for luring investments in the solar energy sector. Before the beginning of the war, it already installed 6.3 gigawatt of solar power. Currently, many major cities of Ukraine, such as Kiev, Lviv, Odessa, and of course others, are left without electricity and heat because of Russian military attacks on Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Thus, towns and villages are using solar power to maintain the lights on and just to keep living and working. In conclusion, I would say that the huge wind-swept region and the Black Sea coastline of Ukraine present a significant wind energy resource that may be used to power Europe. The potential for solar and biomass energy in Ukraine can also greatly increase the Union's energy supply. A boom of investment in renewable energy in Ukraine may create the chance for new renewable technologies to be widely adopted. As a result, Ukraine will become one of the main sources of EU's energy mix, which will help to resolve many issues. The European Union and its member states must take considerable actions, both before and during Ukrainian post-war reconstruction, in order for this to become reality. So here you can see on the screen some sources that I've used for my research, and I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed it.